Well, here I am again, and I still have the same problem. I do not know what's going on. I'm hoping that my live stream will show up on my phone so I can at least talk with you and see what's going on. But as of right now, I have no contact with you. Okay, wait a minute. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if this is the old chat or the live chat right now. Somebody talk to me. Tony Patriot. Can you hear me now? Okay, can you see me? I've got my phone. I can see the chat. Tony Patriot, D.A. Archer, I see you. Okay, is everything cool? Okay, man, that's great, D.A. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hang around here for a couple of minutes and let some people get in here. So y'all talk to me. Let me know that everything's good. You can see me. And I know it's terrible, Tony. I know. There's a lot of competition tonight. But this is when I do my live streams, so I'm going to do my live stream if nobody's here. Maybe somebody will pick it up on the replay. But that's okay, little drummer girl. I'm glad to see you. Thank you for showing up. We've got 5 in the chat. American Patriots Network. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I'm glad you're here. We're just going to hang around for a couple of minutes. We're going to let some people get in here. And y'all talk to each other. Pete the Patriot. Thank you, my friend. With all the competition that's going on tonight and you show up in my chat, it means a lot to me. And American Patriots Network. You're right, DA. Yeah, there's not enough hours in the day for everybody to take turns. I try to, though. I honestly do. That's why I don't go on Thursday nights, is because of Tony Patriot. I want to support Tony Patriot, and so I don't go on Thursday nights. I don't go on Sunday mornings because there's a lot of good people that do their show on Sunday, such as American Joe Show. And so I'm trying to be somewhere where there's not somebody else in our circle. Because, you know, we are a circle. We're the Patriot family. And thanks to Tony for that handle, we'll remain the Patriot family. And, you know, as we, like you said, Tony, we try, but as we grow, it'll be impossible. And you're right. You're totally right. And I'm already finding that out. It's hard to watch everybody when they go live. And it's hard to watch even their replays a lot of times because there's so many people who we follow that sometimes it's just really difficult. Ancient Drummer, glad to see you here. We're up to 7. So I'm glad y'all are talking amongst yourself. And I'm glad that at least I have the chat on my phone. So we're going to have a good live stream tonight. I've got a lot of good information that I'm going to try to bring out. And we lost one. So maybe we'll get another one. If I don't get somebody on here soon, I'll go ahead and start. Rocky USA, thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people are covering the Mueller hearing today, and I'm going to tell you, I watched a little bit of that, and Mueller acted like a geriatric, I don't know, the guy acted like he had Alzheimer's a lot of times. He really looked old. I guess that was the big thing. He looked old. Even when he answered the questions with a good answer, he looked old. I guess he's like me. As you get older, sometimes you can't hide it. But let's see here. I saw somebody else in here a minute ago. Spirit Talker. Okay, hey Spirit Talker, how you doing? Rocky USA, D.A. Archer, Susie Williams. Glad to see you. I'm glad you're here. We have 10 people in the chat. So I said when I got 10 people, I was gonna start. But now, before I start, I want y'all to go hit the like button if you haven't already. Uh, that'd do me a great favor if you'd do that. If you're not going to run right now and do it on your way out. But hit that like button before you leave. I want to thank everybody for being here. And I've got quite a bit of information tonight. I'm going to cover a lot of topics. And it's going to be sort of a collage, I guess, because I'm probably going to be walking over other stories, and I don't mean to do that. But I want to thank my subscribers, and I want to thank y'all for being here. I want to thank Dangerous Freedom for his kind PayPal donation. And my PayPal information will be in the link below after this is posted. I want to give a few shout outs. Tony Patriot's here. Pete the Patriot. And even if they're not here, I'm still going to shout them out. Forbidden Information. American Joe Show. DM and History Bee. You got to check those people out. They're fantastic people. Florida Jim is another, and Ninth Armory. So I can name them on and on. Jervis is another. And Shonda Graphics. Check her. So if you don't have any of these people, let's see here. DJ, I got to get this right, brother. DJT, 2Q. Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. And Linda Carter, glad you're here. Pete, it looks like you brought some friends with you, and I'm glad you did. Thank you a lot, man. That means a lot. Oh, there you are, one dirty, rotten imbecile. I talked to you earlier today on another chat, and you showed up in the real Brooklyn. There you go, people. I'm glad to see you. These are people that I've met recently, and I'll tell you, it means a lot when you start seeing the same people in the chat over and over again. And these two people, or three people, have been here for the last two live streams, and I'm very grateful. So just hang around for a while. We'll try to have a little fun, and we'll try to talk about some topics we probably don't want to talk about. The real Brooklyn. He wants to know how everybody's doing today. And so y'all be sure to shout him out and talk to him. Y'all feel free to network in the chat. There's only 16 people in here. But if you don't know somebody, feel free to grab them up and talk to them. And do it the right way. Friday night, I'm going to do a special on the Bill of Rights. And then I'm going to tell a little story after that. But if I have any leftovers tonight, I may bring them. But Friday night live stream is going to be on the Bill of Rights. I have a community tab on my YouTube channel now. Once you reach 1,000 subscribers, your discussion tab goes to a community tab. So feel free to contact me and with topics, ideas, anything. And we can talk about it, and we'll have a community. And that's what it's all about, is getting my subscribers to interact with me so we can, interact. That's just what it is, so check out my community tab. It's new to me, so I'm sure it's probably going to be new to everybody else. But I want to talk a little bit tonight about Iran. I'm going to start with Iran, and we're going to go through politics. We're going to go through Epstein. We're going to talk about abortion. We're going to talk about DACA, and immigration. And if I get to it, we'll have some miscellaneous news. But right now, I want to get down to the nitty-gritty. We got 15 in here. Florida Jim. Florida Jim, I just shouted you out. Thank you, brother, for being here. You're a great friend, and I appreciate it. But on Monday, Iran issued a death sentence to several members of what Iran claims is a spy ring of the CIA embedded in sensitive departments across Iran. We haven't heard about this because of Mueller. All of this has just come out in the last couple of days when everybody's been anticipating Mueller. So Mueller's going to be the top of the news. So if you want to hear what's happening besides Mueller, you'll hear it right here. The roundup of the alleged CIA spying has led to the arrest of 17 people. The spies were employed in sensitive, vital, private sectors in the economic, the nuclear, the military, and the cyber areas where classified information was collected. Secretary of State Pompeo said it's part of Iran's nature to lie. I would take the Iranian assertions with a grain of salt about the actions taken by the Iranians. Well, that seemed to be a little bit flippant for me. I don't know. Maybe there's more to this story than Pompeo's letting on to, because he was real quick, to call it a lie. So that's a red flag for me, people. I hate to say it, but I'm one of these people. I keep my eye on our government. I don't care if it's Donald Trump or anybody else. When they say stuff that don't make sense, I have to call them on it. And so that was sort of a flippant reply. The military presence in the Persian Gulf has increased in the last days, and we all know about the provocations of Iran when they took those 2 tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, and of course they shot down one of our drones supposedly, and then they seized the British oil tanker. But so far, nobody has said anything to Iran. I mean, they've said things. They've been diplomatically talking to Iran, but from what I understand, I heard President Trump say that any aggression on the part of Iran against the U.S. or any of our allies would receive unrelenting force. Now, I'm not calling for war. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not calling for war. But these people shouldn't say things, and then when the time comes to man up, you man down. So I just don't know what to say about that, because substance matters more than anything else. And if what you say has no meaning, then why even say it? I mean, if you're going to let them attack and seize tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, and if you're going to let them take a British tanker with a crew and hold the crew captive, and nobody does anything or says anything other than, you shouldn't have done that. People, this is silly. It's almost like they're going out of their way to do anything to piss off Iran. I don't know if they're trying to avert war or what, but it makes no sense to me. The Democrat elites are comfortable, and they live their comfortable lives, and their only focus is on words. And even that was lost in the raging arguments by the left. Real people can't be so self-indulgent as the demon rats. Substance is what matters, not what you do. My good friend and yours, Chuck Schumer, he asked the question, do we have to go along with this racism? He's talking about Donald Trump. You're making a deal with the devil. Again, talking about Donald Trump. People, how do they get away with doing this stuff? I mean, if one of our Republicans were to say something about a demon rat like that, my Lord, they would be dragged over the coals, they'd be censured, and they'd try to run them out of the Senate or the Congress, wherever they were. It's silly. It's silly. Easy words for Chuck Schumer to say. It wasn't his job that was sent to China. It wasn't his neighborhood that was collapsing all around the factories when they disappeared. You know, they went to China under Obama. Oh my God. It wasn't his income, Chuck U. Schumer. It wasn't your income that sat stagnant for decades, and we couldn't get a raise no matter what we did. I was in the Glazers Union. I did glass for a lot of years, high-rise glass. And I was in the Glazers Union, and we were stagnant. We didn't get raises for almost forever. And it was stupid. I mean, and they called that a good economy. But President Trump and his administration have brought hope back to the people. And he's made real changes for the American people. The lowest paid workers have gained the most with Trump economics. Critics say it all started under Obama, and that's true. It did. But under President Trump, the expansion has continued to grow. And it's easy to start something. Anybody can start something. But it's a real work to keep it going and to make it work. You see what I'm saying, people? It doesn't matter who started it. What matters is who's keeping it going and who's doing the right thing with it. And that's Donald Trump, our president. Establishment idiots say Donald Trump's tax cuts only help the rich, and this thinking shows they know nothing about economics. Corporate tax cuts is the reason that earnings are up for the working people. The less they have to pay, the more they can pay their employees. It makes sense. That's called economics. Manufacturers are coming back to the U.S. bringing jobs with them. And we've got the people here to fill those jobs. More people are working today than ever before. But we've still got people who will fill these jobs for these corporations that are coming back. But under the demon rats, our jobs and factories left the United States because of the demon rats' authoritarian dictator, Barack Obama. The authoritarian, I can't say that word twice, the authoritarian dictator, Barack Obama. Beyond our economy, ISIS has had its empire of hate and murder destroyed by President Trump. And not just because of Trump, but because of his policies. Dems want to decriminalize illegal immigration. They want to take insurance away from 180 million people. And then they want to give free health care to all of the illegal aliens. So 180 million people who have health care they're happy with, according to the Dems, if you believe and support them, then you're going to lose your insurance. They want you and me to pay for college for the elite Americans. College for all. They want to forgive all student loans. They want to reverse tax cuts. They want to reverse deregulations. They want us dependent on the Middle East oil. They want Iran to have nuclear weapons and carry out Obama's butt kissing with Iran. But we're not going to keep on kissing Iran's butt, I hope. While Dems continue to go farther to the left, we Americans, as patriots, we say, let's go forward and let's stay positive. Positive patriotism is a must. It's a must for us because we have the right. We have to do that, people. Stephen Corson, I'm glad you're here, brother. United we stand. Glad to see you. D.A. Archer, I'm glad you're still here, and Tony Patriot. I know it's going to be a small crowd tonight because everybody's talking about the Mueller thing, and that's the reason I'm not, is because everybody else is. So this will be a small live stream. I hope people come. and check out the replay. We'll find out in the next couple of days, I guess. But you're right. 44 did more for dividing America than any has in years. You're right, D.A. Archer. And at least he'll be remembered for doing something, because Lord knows he didn't do squat for America. And you're right, D.A. Thank you. Steak 59. Hello, how are you doing, brother? I'm glad you're here. It's going to be a small crowd tonight, so just jump on in there and say whatever you want to, brother, as long as you're nice. And I know you are, only you know I said that. Just talk to people, man. Have a good time. Let's see. I want to tell you about somebody that I'm going to support for the President of the United States in 2024. And I want y'all to look at this man. I want y'all to look him up. I want you to see what he's done. Go on YouTube and check out Doug Collins from Georgia and see what he's done. See some of his speeches and see some of his stance on the floor of the House. Just watch this guy. He's a good guy. Haven't mentioned her yet. Forbidden information. Michelle, she's a big supporter of this guy, and I'm gonna tell you, as of right now, there's nobody better to take Trump's place than Doug Collins from Georgia. So keep an eye on him. Don't let him get away. The ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Doug Collins, he rallied against Pelosi and her display on the House floor. She brought dishonor to the House of Representatives, he said. Skeletor Pelosi violated rules and decorum in her remarks, calling President Trump a racist on the House floor. That's something you're not supposed to do. But get this. Doug Collins, the Speaker, ought to be embarrassed. And we're talking about Skeletor Pelosi, ought to be embarrassed right now. She shouldn't look back on this as a victory for the demon rats. When Collins told her she broke House rules, she simply forced her party to take away any punishment for her. Can you believe that? Because she's a Speaker of the House, she can get in trouble and then tell the House to take away her punishment. What kind of kangaroo court is this? People, this is more stupidity out of our government. But you know, Pelosi lied when she said she had clearance for her remarks from the House parliamentarians in advance. Now, I don't know who the House parliamentarians are, but evidently they're a group of people that she supposedly cleared this comment through before she went to the floor. Well, Collins accused Dems of doing nothing but bashing our president, and that's all they're doing. That's all they ever do. There's no way around it. The demon rats have nothing but one policy, and that policy is to bash Trump. It doesn't matter if you're the four women of the apocalypse, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and Presley and who else was it? There was another one there, but I forget right now. Oh, Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah, the four women of the apocalypse. I mean, even the demon rats don't agree with them, but yet they agree with them on bashing Trump. So you see, they are united on one thing, and that's bashing Trump. Trump's a liar. He's a racist. He's a misogynist and a bigot. It makes me laugh. I almost said it almost makes me laugh, but it does make me laugh. It's funny the way these demon rats work. I mean, they hate each other, but they work together. I mean, they speak out of both sides of their mouth all the time. I want to talk a little bit about Jeffrey Epstein. I want to give you a little bit what's going on with him, because today, on the 24th of this month, the judge was, I don't know if he did or not. I haven't seen the news. I looked and I couldn't find it. So as the writing of this yesterday or last night, on the 24th of this month, the judge will decide when to unseal over 2,000 documents, which many say will reveal the names of those people who, like Epstein, abused and raped young girls. Which names will be seen is the big question. Now, all of y'all know just like I do, Tony Patriot. Rena Thompson, glad to see you. United we stand. I'm going to hit you out again, DJT 2Q2Q. Disabled Vest Perspective. So glad you're here. Y'all have got me up to 20 tonight, and I am so grateful. I was hoping to have 10, so y'all have doubled my expectations. Y'all are great people. I appreciate you for being my friends. Liberty Smith. Thank you, brother. I talked to Liberty Smith earlier today, and I'm going to tell you, I love that man. He's a God-fearing man, and he's a true patriot. So you just hang around with Liberty Smith. If you got somebody you want to hang around, he's out in Oklahoma, go see him. Disabled Vest Perspective again. I'm so glad you're here. You know, I'm betting that this sickening saga is going to get very interesting in the coming days. And it is sickening, people. It's sickening that we have to have a multimillionaire locked up in jail for abusing little girls. That is the disgrace, and that's the shame. It doesn't lay on us. We're the people who want to see justice done. But yeah, it's a disgrace. It's a sad disgrace that anybody would do this to a child. But I, like the rest of America, am waiting on the hammer to fall on the elite who harm our children. I want to see Epstein sing like a bird. I want to see him name names. And I don't care if they're redacted in court. They won't be redacted in the prosecutor's papers. So these people will get prosecuted one way or the other if he sings. And people, he don't want to be in jail. If he wanted to be in jail, he wouldn't have offered $559 million worth of cash and assets to get out of jail. But the judge, thankfully, said no. Because you're a danger to the community, and you're also a flight risk. And you are, Epstein, along with your cohorts that are going to be named. I hope you turn tail. I hope you think on everybody. Epstein sits in jail awaiting trial with no possibility of a bail. Judge Richard Berman said Epstein poses a serious danger to the community and is a definite flight risk. I just said that. But prosecutors argued against bail for Epstein, saying there are credible allegations he has engaged in witness tampering, which is another charge, and harassment, which is another charge, and other obstructive behavior, which are more charges. So all Epstein is doing is digging his hole a little bit deeper. He's not making any friends with the prosecutors, I'll tell you that. But the most vocal of Epstein's accusers said she was abused by Epstein for 2 years when she was 14 years old. Stephen Corson, did you hear that, brother? 14 years old. And she named many prominent people, including American politicians. She named powerful businessmen. She named former presidents and foreign presidents and members of the British Crown. And she specifically named Alan Dershowitz from Fox fame and OJ fame. She specifically mentioned him by name. People, it's a crying shame that we have business executives and American politicians and foreign presidents and members of the British Crown abusing children along with Jeffrey Epstein. You see where I'm going with this? Of course, Dershowitz is denying any involvement in child trafficking, and we'll see who's lying when this all unfolds. People, this is going to be a messy, messy prosecution, and it's going to be a messy, messy trial. So get ready for it. But right now, standing true to my partner, Forbidden Information, and my good friend Stephen Corson, I have to bring you a little bit of abortion news. Florida Jim, I'm glad you're still here. Pete the Patriot, thanks for hanging out. Steak 59, thank you for networking. Say hello to Sue Eason for me. United we stand. Thank you, you're right. I'm telling you, all four of those anti-Semitic women campaigned with Linda Sauer, and they're carrying her message. And you're right. You are exactly right. And thank you, Florida Jim. Thank you for responding to me. Do it, Disabled Vet. Bring that mop and just clean up the swamp. You know, I'm sort of like a good friend of mine that I watch on YouTube, but I'm not going to call his name. He may not want me to. But he always said he wants to drown the swamp monsters in their own swamp water. And that's a good idea. Let's drown them all. Cherry, how are you? I haven't seen you yet. Rena Thomas, thank you. Little Drummer Girl, DJT, 2Q2Q, United We Stand, Pete Patriot. Glad you're here, everybody. Thank you so much. I got 24 in the chat. And, man, y'all making this a great show. Thank you. I want to tell you, I've got my pages messed up, I think. I think I took one too many. Got it. That's the great thing of being live. You can screw up and then you have to laugh at yourself or you get mad at yourself. So I'm going to keep laughing. Believe me, it's a job trying to keep up with my script and watch the chat and talk to you. And thank you, Rena. Thank you so much, Rena Thomas. God bless you too. And blah, 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 blah. Trump's always bad. You got it, Liberty Smith. That's just the way it is. And Florida Jim says, yep. Thank you, Cherry. I appreciate your support. But we're going to talk a little bit about abortion, being true to Stephen Corson and my partner, Michelle, at Forbidden Information. UN Deputy High Commissioner of Human Rights and U.S. Policies, which severely limits access to abortion, has called limiting access to abortion torture. Now, this is the UN Deputy High Commissioner of Human Rights calling limited access to abortion as torture. We have not called it out in the same way that we've called out under extremist hate, she said. So now, if you're pro-life, you have extremist hate. And this is the UN saying this. This is a gender-based violence against women. No doubt about it, she said. People, we don't need to be in the UN. I've been saying, and I've been seeing signs since I was 12 years old, and I'm an old man. Get out of the UN now. We need to get out of the UN. Trump has already put the UN on their heels. It's time to put them on their butts. Get out of the UN. Don't let them have anything to do with America, because they are anti-American as they come. U.S. policy, I'm going to slow down for a minute. U.S. policies severely limit access to abortions and amount to torture. It's clear it's torture. It's a deprivation of a woman's right to health. Candy Cox, who runs an adoption agency in Arkansas, said abortion is the Holocaust of America, and I agree with her. Abortion is nothing more than a Holocaust of our preborn children. The mother of 7 children admitted to having an abortion at the age of 19, and she has regretted it ever since. And I have no doubt that she does regret it. I know other women who I will not name. I let them speak for themselves. But other women that I know have had abortions at a young age, and now, after having other kids and grandkids and knowing what life's all about and living the life in Christ and believing in the living God, they know what they did was wrong, and they live with that every day. I believe they live with it every day. I live with the fact that I hate to even call her my wife, had an abortion And she never told me she was even pregnant. Of course, she got pregnant. It was either by me or by the bouncer at a titty bar she was hanging out at that I didn't know she was hanging out in. So either way, I wasn't informed. So there's a 50-50 chance that that was my child. And I'm not going to forget it. I think about it every day. Every day. We can't murder our children for convenience. And that's all convenience is. I don't care if you're a young lady or a woman who goes out and makes a mistake. I don't care if you had a drunken night on the town and pulled a train. I don't care what you did. You don't have the right to kill that baby in your belly. And that's where I stand on that. You know, Cox set up a place called Abba Adoptions. Y'all might want to check that place out. It's a Christian organization that funds homes for children whose mothers are seeking to end their pregnancies. Cox added that abortion is the Holocaust of America. And it is when you stop and think of the 60 million kids, children, preborn babies that have been killed since 1973, since the inception of Roe versus Wade. If you can look at 60 million dead preborn babies and not call that a Holocaust, you have no heart. It's worse than a Holocaust. It's a crime against God and humanity. I've noticed that whenever things like tax returns and executive orders or Russia or anything anti-Trump, the left all of a sudden believes in law and order. Well, I'm going to tell you, they don't believe in the rule of law. They never have. They never will. The only time the rule of law applies is when it's applying to the demon rats. You can see that in the Mueller today when he testified, just by the way they asked and presented their questions. These people are evil. Them start finger pointing, and they'll put their finger right in your face and remind you that no one is above the law, especially the President of the United States. That's when they point the finger. That's when they holler the rule of law, when they're downing our president or they're downing an American patriot. The Dems are right about this. No one is above the law, and it's a promise of this country and of the best things of America. It's one of the best things about America is the rule of law. Rule of law is what protects us from criminals and would-be villains and dredge of society. You know, if we don't do this, if we don't maintain this, if we're not a nation of laws, then soon we'll be a third world country. And that's what the demon rats want. They want us to be a third world country. But we as a people, we would be much better off if the Dems just believed that no one is above the law. So stop spewing your lies, your deceit, your destruction, and your hate towards America. Be honest. Please spare us your lies. Tell us that you want the downfall of America. Tell us that you want free health care for all. You want open borders, illegal immigrants coming in with full benefits from all of our social systems. Be honest. Let's tell the truth. For once in your life, tell the truth. I've got 29 people in here. Joshua, glad to see you. Flat Earth Forums, thank you for coming. Linda Carter, hello Rena Thomas again. I'm so glad you're hanging around and being a mod. Feel free, by the way. We got a few minutes left. If y'all want to throw up some of these people's URLs so they can people can reach their sites a little easier, feel free to do so. If you have a wrench, feel free to use it. So Sue Eason, Terry Christ, I haven't seen you for a while. Man, I'm glad to see you here. I was wondering what happened to you. I was talking to you regular there for a little while. Joshua Conlon, man, you are welcome anytime, and you are welcome here. I give shout outs to all of my people in the chat when I can. Flat Earth Forums. He's talking to Little Drummer Girl and Pete the Patriot. They're both here. And I'm going to tell you, I'm grateful. I got 24 in the chat and I expected 10. So this has been a success already. You know, virtually every demon rat in every demon rat run city in America has declared itself a sanctuary for illegal aliens. In California, cities have banned businesses from giving assistance to ICE. People, why don't we just keep building that wall, and when we get to California around San Diego, just turn north and go all the way up to Canada. Let's wall off California, Oregon, Washington State. They want to be so liberal, so far left, Oregon and Washington with their Antifa and all of that. And then you have California. My God, they got so much stuff going on. You can't name it all. Everything from the homeless, to feces in the street. It's terrible. You can go for city blocks and you see nothing but tents and human feces in the street. These are American cities, and they're proud to be sanctuary cities. What? Tell me something, people. What am I missing here? Somehow I've lost contact with the people in California and Oregon and, well, heck, for that matter, a whole lot of other places like D.C. and Illinois and Maine, New York. I don't agree with none of those people because they're all demon rat run states. So I say this to the immigrants. Come here without being asked. Break our laws. Take our benefits. Use all our money. Live like kings and queens. Denounce us as racist and still expect us to give you free health care. And that's what you expect, illegal immigrants. This is a message put out by the demon rats. And this message is heard around the world, especially in the poorest countries. Come here. We're going to give you all of these freebies. You're going to have free health care. You can break our laws. You can do anything you want to. But just last month, it's not just the Hispanics that we have to worry about. Just last month, 1,100 African immigrants from 19 different countries were caught at the U.S. southern border. These people aren't fleeing starvation. It's obvious to me that they had plenty of money for a plane ticket to get to our continent. So where did they get that big airfare to fly here? They aren't starving. They have money. They just wanted to come and exploit our southern border. The Dems have decided that all immigrants deserve to be here and stay forever at our expense. The rule of law does not apply to immigrants or to the demon rats. There is no rule of law. I've got it somewhere here in my papers. I probably skipped it because these papers stick together. And I wind up losing a page here and there, so I have to improvise. But my whole thing is these Democrats, their positions are so extreme, they're forcing all of us to choose between a nation of immigrants or a nation of laws. Well, you know where we stand. We stand with a nation of laws. But this means that the Demon Rat Party is going to be the nation of immigrants. A large majority of African American, Hispanic, and also Asian voters believe it's a crime to cross our border illegally because they came here legally. Let me get this right. I don't know how to say it. The people who came here legally from other countries, people who migrated from other countries legally, are up in arms, and they're not happy about these people either. And they're saying that it's not a racial issue. But despite what the lying Dems tell you, it is. For the demon rats, it's a racial issue. America is a kind and decent country, but we are a nation of laws. And if we lose that, it's over for us. If we lose the rule of law, what have we become? We are no longer the United States of America. And I'm going to talk to you Friday night. My Friday night live stream is going to be all about the Bill of Rights. I'm going to talk to you about the first Bill of Rights as they were penned by John Adams. And we're going to talk about how they still today mean everything to us in the rule of law. So join me Friday night. I'm going to go over the Bill of Rights with you, and we're going to talk about them a little bit. But then I have a story to tell you. Actually, it's a poem. I've started doing recitations. If you missed my last live stream, go check it out. I did one at the end, and I'm going to do one Friday night. And this one's going to be about a battle that took place not too far from here. I live in Dallas, Georgia. About 12, 13 miles over the road is a town called Kennesaw. Well, just down from there is Kennesaw Mountain. And during the Civil War, we had a battle of Kennesaw Mountain. And it was a bloody, bloody battle, people. Many, many people died. And this is the poem. Actually, it was a song. And I've tried many times to sing it and play it, and it defeats me. So I have turned it into a recitation, and I recite it as a poem. If you'll hang around Friday night, I guarantee you it's a good read. So we still got Tony Patriot, Stephen Corson, Joshua Conlon. Good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're here. And I see D.A. Archer, United We Stand, Linda Carter, D.A. Archer again. People, I appreciate y'all being in the chat. It means the world to me. I can't thank you enough. I'll tell you, Tony Patriot is the person that I've tried to model myself after as far as dealing with my my chat and with my subscribers. Tony is a fantastic human being. I have to thank him. He has helped me. He's helped me to grow. He gave me a lot of good information. But at the same time, I have to thank the American Joe Show. The American Joe Show did a grow segment for me, and it got me started on my path to having a decent following. I'm grateful for each and every one of you who follow me. Liberty Smith, Cherry, just keep on listening, sweetheart. You don't have to worry about it. Sue Eason, I'm so glad that you refuse to let the Dems make this a third world country. And that's what I'm trying to get across, is we need to not let this become a third world country. Awake and Angry, I'm so glad to see you. I'm seeing people I haven't seen in a while. And thank you, Steak 59. I'm glad you enjoyed last week's. I do 3 a week. I do Sunday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night at 8 p.m. I used to do a video every day, and I'll be honest with you people, I did 250-something videos almost every day, and it got to the point to where I was getting burnt out. And again, Tony Patriot, and Forbidden Information, and American Joe, and Knight's Armory, many people were doing live streams. And so I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And I'll be honest with you, I still work just as much on my live streams as I did my daily videos. It's just that when I come live now, I have more information because I've had longer to research. So I get up every morning about 5 a.m. Sometimes I sleep until 6. And I go over all of the news that I can find on all the topics that I'm interested in. And I think that you'll be interested in. So that's how I get my my script. I go over these articles, and I read them, and I critique them, and I I take away what I can use and I leave the rest. So I hope you enjoy what I'm trying to bring to you. Joseph Erickson, thank you, brother. How's the weather and how are you feeling? Well, right now, actually, it's cool. It's twilight. It's fixing to get dark. But matter of fact, I can probably turn that light down a little bit. But since it's getting so dark, I don't need so much light. But Liberty Smith, I'm glad you're here. Pete the Patriot, man, you're awesome. I've been checking out your videos and I've been trying to leave you some comments because I want to interact with you. I would love to do a panel with you sometime. I believe in everything that you say, and I think we'd have a good panel. But it's not just him. I'm open to do panels with anyone who wants to have a panel. I prefer that you be an American patriot, but if you're a Democrat that happens to stop by and see this, I'll join you as well. I'll be happy to debate you anytime on the issues at hand. So I'm getting close. I've got 7 minutes left. Alfred Phillips, thank you for being here. I haven't seen you in here in a while. So this is great. I still got 20 people here. I was talking to Pete the Patriot today on a message, and I saw that he had done something on Bernie Sanders, and I sent him a text, and I told him, I said, I'm going to not do my piece on Bernie Sanders because I don't want to walk on your story. And he sent me a message back and told me that he wanted to hear what I had to say. So this is for you, Pete the Patriot. I'm going to touch on this right quick. I'm going to touch on Bernie Sanders. Of course, he's the demon rat from Vermont. He's a socialist, and get this, he's a Jew, but he's an anti-Semite. Now, I don't know how he can do that, but he does it. He's a hypocrite, and no doubt in my mind, and no doubt in anybody's mind, he is a hypocrite. Bernie Sanders is playing games with his workers so as to not truly address the $15 an hour pay increase that he's pushing on the American businesses. So he's pushing $15 an hour on American businesses, but yet he's not adhering to his own rules. Bernie's playing games with his workers so as to not truly address that issue. Bernie has come as far as he's probably ever going to go, because he's the first presidential candidate in history to face a labor revolt. And these people that are working for him are revolting against him because he's not paying them the $15 an hour that he's offering for everybody else to get paid. So you see where the hypocrisy comes in? Bernie's field workers are working 60 hours a week. Their annual salary is $36,000 a year. That works out to about $13 an hour. That's well below the $15 an hour federal minimum wage that he's been preaching to everybody. It turns out that Sanders pays 85% of the health care premiums, which is good. He should pay it all for the staff. And he even promises free health care for all. So if he's going to give everybody else free health care, why don't they get free health care? Why should they pay 15%? See where I'm coming from? He says no premiums, no copay, and no out-of-pocket expense for anybody except his own employees. You see, he's shitting on his own employees. Now, I hate to say that. I try not to say words like that, but it just slipped out. The Sanders solution is, first, cut his field staff from 60 hours to 43 hours. Well, that means they make $15 a week, but they've lost 17 hours a week worth of work. So their pay has decreased yet again. You know, union organizers really want to hold Sanders to his own standards. Then the $15 an hour for free health care should only be the beginning for him to start with, is to give his own people $15 an hour and give them their 60 hours that they had in the beginning, and to give them free health care instead of making them pay a percentage. Sanders promises to free generations of Americans from outrageous burdens of student loans by canceling all existing student loans. But he doesn't provide for his workers, and he doesn't give them benefits. The trouble with socialism is that eventually they run out of money. And that's what's happening with Bernie Sanders. People, I'm getting close. I got 3 minutes. I'm going to spend the rest of the evening talking to y'all. Little drummer girl, spirit talker, thank you for coming and modding for me tonight. Little drummer girl, thank you for modding. Joshua Colin, let's see, y'all got something to say? Spit it out now, because I'm watching everything that's happening. Flat Earth Forums, I'm glad to see you, buddy. Sounds good, Pete the Patriot. Give me a call. My phone number is on my profile on YouTube. But if you want to send me a text or a message on one of my videos, feel free. I'll send you my phone number. I'd love to hook up with you, man. We could have a good thing for a little while. Terry Christ, I'm really glad that you did show up. I've missed you, man. And Linda Carter, thank you. Rena Thomas, thank you for modding again. So I've got 2 minutes left. I want y'all just to talk to each other. Stephen Corson, I love you too, brother. Tony Patriot, Linda Carter, that's exactly what Bernie did do, and you're right. That's exactly what he did. Liberty Smith, there's not enough hours in the day to check all these great patriots. You're right. You're right. Thank you so much, Liberty Smith. It's almost too much to keep up with sometimes. Steak 59, good night to you, my friend. I'm fixing to sign off. I want you to know, every one of you, I love you. Thank you for being here. You made this a success for me, and I'm happy with the outcome. I hope you are. Before I leave, remember our children. Pray for our exploited and the trafficked and the abused, the sexually abused. And people, I'm going to make a video one of these days on this again. And our devoured children. Pray for them, because there are many out there, and many, many more than you would ever believe. So anyway, I'm Deplorable Bobby. My time's up. I cut myself off at an hour because I don't want to ramble on. And I hope somebody else will be coming right behind me. As a matter of fact, I know they are. So I'm getting off. Y'all have a good night. I love you. This is Deplorable Bobby, and I'm saying good night.